The storm will not last forever. If you're in a storm right now, listen carefully. This is not the end of your story. The pain you're experiencing is real. The disappointment is real. The fear is real. But your storm is not eternal. There is a season for the storm, and there is a season when the clouds finally break. The Bible says in Psalm 35, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." It doesn't say there won't be weeping. It says weeping has an expiration date. Your night may feel long. You may have been praying for months. You may be asking God, when will this finally change? But don't make a permanent conclusion based on a temporary season. Look at the disciples in Mark chapter 4. Jesus told them, "Let us go across to the other side." Then they got into the boat, and suddenly a massive storm came. The waves were crashing against the boat, water was filling it, and Jesus was asleep. The disciples woke him up and said, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" Think about that question. Do you not care? Maybe you've asked God the same thing. God, don't you see what I'm going through? Don't you see how tired I am? Don't you see how badly I need you? But Jesus got up. He rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Peace, be still." And immediately the wind stopped. The storm ended. But here's something important. The storm didn't mean Jesus had left the boat. Jesus was there the entire time. And maybe that's what you need to understand today. Just because your storm hasn't stopped doesn't mean God isn't with you. Sometimes God calms the storm. Sometimes God carries you through it. But either way, He is in the boat. Isaiah 43:2 says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through fire, you shall not be burned." Notice the wording. God doesn't say if you pass through the waters, He says when. Trials are part of living in a broken world. But God gives you a promise. You will not go through them alone. Think about Joseph. He had a dream from God. Then he was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, thrown into prison. Years passed. If Joseph looked only at his circumstances, it would have seemed like God's promise had failed. But God was working when Joseph couldn't see it. And eventually, Joseph went from the prison to the palace. Years later, he could look back and say, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Genesis 50:20. The prison wasn't the end. It was a chapter. And your current situation is a chapter too. Don't let one chapter convince you that the whole book is hopeless. Maybe you're in a financial storm. Maybe it's loneliness. Maybe it's temptation. Maybe you're grieving. Maybe you're struggling with your faith. Maybe you're exhausted from fighting the same battle over and over. Whatever it is, don't quit in the middle of the storm. Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap, if we do not give up." If we do not give up. That's the command. Keep praying, keep seeking God, keep opening His Word, keep obeying, keep going. You don't need to understand everything God is doing. You just need to trust the one who does. And remember this, storms have an ending. The Red Sea eventually opened. Joseph eventually left the prison. David eventually became king. The disciples eventually reached the other side. And Jesus eventually walked out of the grave. So if you're standing in the middle of your storm right now, don't confuse the darkness with God's absence. The clouds may be covering the sun, but the sun hasn't disappeared. God is still God. His promises are still true. His presence is still with you. And your story is still being written. Psalm 46:1 says, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble." Not a distant help, not an occasional help, a very present help. So breathe, pray, stand firm, take the next step. You don't need to see the whole road, just take the next step with God. Because the storm will not last forever. The night will not last forever. The tears will not last forever. And for those who belong to Christ, one day there will be no storm at all. Revelation 21:4 says, "He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more, neither mourning, nor crying, nor pain anymore." So hold on, not because you're strong enough, but because He is faithful enough. The storm is temporary. God is eternal. And if Jesus is in your boat, you are going to make it to the other side.